Delighted now to be joined by the Director of Communications at PricedOut to group the campaigns for housing reform, James Yucel. James, let's ask you directly, because a lot of people cannot get anywhere near the housing ladder. They're in long-term rents, or it's the only option. That's outrageous. 11%. Why is it so high? Why is it allowed to be so high?
Well, I think the renting crisis in the UK has become even more dire in the last year due to just a severe imbalance in supply and demand. You know, the reopening of the economy after lockdowns has led to an increased demand for housing, while the supply of rental properties has not kept pace, to be awfully honest with you. You know, the number of homes available for rent has decreased by a third, while demand for rented accommodation has surged to over 50% above normal levels. And, you know, as a result, competition for rental properties has reached unprecedented levels, with people resorting to extreme measures like bidding on unseen properties and putting up 6 months of rent up front.
I mean, you heard in the past about gazumping and people doing it. It's happening with rental there. For people on the ground, how difficult is this? Because we said there in the introduction, James, that renting and your mortgage is the biggest expenditure monthly. There are people who are, even more people, who are going to end up homeless. Why is action not taken on unscrupulous landlords who seem to be able to carry out these rises without anybody, you know, causing, if you like, rules for them to follow? That's what I don't get.
Well, let's put into context how bad the UK is right now. According to a recent report from the fantastic Centre for Cities, the UK now has a backlog of over 4 million homes compared to the average European nation. So, for instance, one of our supporters at PricedOut, he's a parliamentary staffer to a senior MP, and he has to live with his parents in Kent and commute from Kent. He shouldn't have to do that, but he's got no choice, because you've got a bunch of MPs who are only focused on their re-election and will more or less oppose any local housing development in their constituency. So I ask the question, how can anyone expect us to fix the crisis when we're not building any houses?
Good man. Thank you very much indeed, James Yucel, Director of Communications at PricedOut.